Designs.
Hey, real quick, want to remind everybody, if you're a fan of modified racing in the United States Modified Touring Series, we'll be at the new Arrowhead Speedway next week in Colquitt, Oklahoma for the inaugural Army Contractors USMTS All-American. A cool $20,000 to the winner on Saturday, October 14th. Racing Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night.
Is Bryce going to brace or bless us with his presence here this weekend?
I don't know if he's going to be able to be here at the Nationals or not. That was kind of up in the air, but
Bryce, I know you're watching.
Either way, looking forward to getting down to the Arrowhead Speedway. If you haven't been there, there's not a thing that they haven't touched on that facility. It's absolutely phenomenal. Honestly, I would put it right up next to Lucas Oil Speedway.
That's an awesome deal, and I've been watching a little bit from home, keeping tabs on my buddy, not only my buddy Bryce, but my buddy Chris Loberg, the flag man as well. He's having a dandy of a time. You won't find a guy that's more energetic about being a flag man or working at a speedway than Chris Loberg.
No, that's a fact. Yep, I've had him. He's done a couple of arm shows for me this year, and have enjoyed working with him as well. So looking forward to seeing those guys next week down in Colquitt, Oklahoma, at the Arrowhead Speedway for the inaugural Army Contractors USMTS All-American. Before we finish up the year with the United States Modified Touring Series, Friday, October 27th at the Lakeside Speedway for the 7th Annual Grant Youngheads Memorial, and then the 4th Annual USMTS Modified Spooktacular presented by RacingDirt.com, Saturday, October 28th, finishes the year at the 81 Speedway in Park City, Kansas.
Well, should we run it down one more time? The cars are actually on the track right now.
Let's
switch it up. I'll start them off. On the pole from Hayfield, Minnesota, in the 50 to the 3rd. That's Brandon Davis. To his outside from Shannon, Kansas, in the 127. That's Peyton Phillips.
Starting 3rd out of Warsaw, Missouri, the 38C is Jason Persley. To his outside from Perry, Kansas. The 3B is Nick Bittinger.
Row number 3 finds the 97 of Houston Johnson. And to his outside from Hayesville, Kansas, the 65 is Tyler Davis.
Inside of row number 4 from Ankeny, Iowa. The 21 is Ben Nading. To his outside from Polo, Missouri. The 21C, that's Chad Clancy.
Row number 5, we find the 712 of Trevor Hughes. And to his outside from Sherburne, Minnesota, the 8L, that's Lyle Sadoff.
Your final row to the inside from Trenton, Missouri. The 92 is Tyler Grooms. To his outside from Waterloo, Iowa. The 5D is Devin Havlick.
And it looks like Havlick not making the call.
So 11 cars. We're going to go 16 times around. Looks like a couple of cars not making the call. 10 cars on racetrack. So the race now going 16 laps in distance. Brandon Davis and Peyton Phillips going to lead the field to green. Jason Persley, Nick Bittinger. On row 2, row 3 is Houston Johnson and Tyler Davis. Row 4, Ben Nading and Chad Clancy, Trevor Hughes and Sadoff. So we're missing the entire back row. Grooms and Havlick both not making the call.
Yeah, good point. I didn't even catch that Tyler wasn't out there. I tell you what, I saw one of the worst wrecks that I've seen in a modified. Tyler Grooms up at Mason City this year.
Oof.
Got into the outs. Were you up there that night?
I was.
That was a nasty wreck. He just got high on entry and just nailed the outside retaining wall. But you know what? He was back, I think, the next week with a backup car as we're green flag and underway.
Hayfield, Minnesota's Brandon Davis leads the charge into 1 and 2. He'll grab the early lead as problems in the back of the field. I believe that's the 21.
Ben Nading around.
Nading that goes around.
So that'll bring the caution out. Nading will go to the tail. We'll do other than him, a straight up restart. Get the field adjusted, put Nading to the back.
So Nading gets the 21 flipped back around. Lights are going to go down the back straightaway. They're coming to green this time. Brandon Davis, Peyton Phillips off of turn number 4 once again will lead the field to green. Your Summit Racing Equipment USRA Modifieds are green.
All right, here we go. Back underway, and Nick Bittinger making some quick moves there. It takes that 3B car up into that third spot. But right now, Brandon Davis, the race leader, with Peyton Phillips closely in tow. Bittinger now goes to the inside as Peyton Phillips got high, wide, and handsome in the 12 car.
Yeah, you saw him pick the left front way up off the ground, hung that right rear off of the top of the racetrack. And it was impressive that he was able to save it and lose no more than the 2 spots that he did. Now fighting with Tyler Davis to stay inside the top 5.
Hersley snuck by there as well in the 38C. But right now it's your Deer Creek Speedway track champion, Brandon Davis, showing the way. All these guys either had to be track champions or point leaders, or if they were already qualified from another track, they went to position number 2 at the other speedway. So if they were lucky enough to win a couple track championships, they let someone else, one of their weekly competitors, in with them. Oh, hold on, the 12 car. Or excuse me, it's the 127. I always say it's the 12, but it's Peyton Phillips. He got high over the top of the speedway as well. So Chesterman, have you played the World of Outlaws game on Xbox or PS5 or any of those?
Absolutely.
So have you raced at the Lucas Oil Speedway?
Absolutely.
Have you hung it over the cushion and lost the pistol grip on it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, see, there you go. You know exactly how that a guy could do that.
That's normally how it goes for me, but Peyton Phillips off of turn number 2, working the high side of the racetrack down the back straightaway, and just a little too high into turns 3 and 4, and does that very thing, just hangs it off the top side on the flat and loses the grip on the race car. Normally when I do it, though, it ends up in me slamming into the fence. So it's a good thing that the restart button is all I got to hit.
Yeah.
I don't have to pay for it.
Peyton Phillips wishes he could hit the reset button. But here we go, Brandon Davis bringing him back to the green flag.
Off of turn number 4, Brandon Davis brings us back to green. Bittinger now working the middle part of the racetrack. Looked like he hit a run down the back straightaway. He'll close the gap into turns 3 and 4.
Bittinger's got a rocket ship is what he's got. Brandon Davis, is tough, but I'll tell you what, Bittinger is just searching the speedway, trying to find the best way around, and he gets some good runs here. Now he goes to the top side, trying to get that right rear against the cushion and get some of that momentum built off. He gains right up to the bumper of Davis. They work in 3 and 4. Davis just catfishing it around there, getting the dig out of the 50 to the 3rd.
Bittinger, this is a racetrack that he's familiar with as he tries to chase down the 50 to the 3rd. Now you're watching a battle between Tyler Davis, Trevor Hughes. Houston Johnson was momentarily there, but he lost momentum down the back straightaway. Davis up on top of the racetrack trying to see if he can hunt to the outside of the 712. So far, Hughes will hold him off as Houston Johnson doing battle with a pair of 21s. Ben Nading and Chad Clancy, those 3 back into 1 and 2.
Yeah, so Nading spun it out early. Now he's working his way back up through the field. He's passed a few cars, trying to keep that momentum going. You can see a good shot there of Ben Nading working the bottom. But here comes Bittinger on the top. Davis on the bottom, but here's where Bittinger gets a run as they work down the back stretch into turn number 3. Davis might want to change his lineup there as Bittinger is starting to click some time off. Look at this, down the front stretch. We're going to get the old crossover. Nope, Davis down to the bottom. Bittinger still rim riding around the diamond and dirt tracks.
7 laps to go for the 3B, 6.5 now as Bittinger. He'll give Davis a little honk of the horn down the back straightaway. Almost got tightened up off the top of the racetrack. Drives it down. That allows Davis about a half car length of breathing room, but Bittinger still going to try to take the battle to the 50 to the 3rd. Now Brandon Davis goes up top. Bittinger will turn it underneath them. They're side by side off of 2.
We'll see if Davis goes back down to the bottom of 3 and 4 because that's the tricky part of the speedway. Bittinger knows what he's doing here. He got Davis to change his line. It might play into Bittinger's favor.
Bittinger hard to the bottom of turns 1 and 2, slides through the middle. Davis has found the top part of the speedway. He hustles back around the outside of the 3B, back into 3 and 4. Down to the bottom once again is the 50 to the 3rd. Bittinger will switch to the top side of the speedway now. So guys switching lines, testing each other as Davis leads with 4 to go.
Yeah, they just swap lines back and forth a couple times there. And look at this run Bittinger gets at the top of 1 and 2. Now he's got a charge back on the outside of Davis. Oh man, here we go. Things heating up. We'll see if they swap lines again. Bittinger, this is where he really gains. It's 1 and 2. This is where the race is going to be either won or lost.
Davis a little bit better through turns 1 and 2 that time as he charged the middle of the corner hard and let the car drift up, trying to keep the wheels underneath, and Bittinger tight through turns 3 and 4. 2 to go, signal sticks out this time. Bittinger desperately trying to catch the 50 to the third.
Davis kind of drifts her up the track a little bit there, but now he's opening up a gap. He's got about a half-second lead. Davis just has been doing what he needs to do. Consistent lap times, keeping that car clean, and he is out front as the white flag comes out.
A couple of laps ago, he found a unique line through the middle of turns 1 and 2 and really pulled away. White flag in the air the last time by. Final set of corners. Brandon Davis out of Hayfield, Minnesota, comes off of turn 4. He'll take the checkered flag here tonight for your Summit Shootout USRA Modifieds.
Top 5 end up like this, coming home 5th, the 65 car. That's Tyler Davis coming home 4th. Trevor Hughes, the 712. Jason Persley, the 38C, comes home 3rd. 2nd place, of course, to that 3B of Nick Bittinger. And Brandon Davis parking her in victory lane. Doug Neff going to go down there and have a chat with tonight's feature winner.